What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update and election update. I have several different things to bring to you here of what's going on with the second stimulus package and the second stimulus check and the unemployment extension update. I'm going to get right into it. Just first, don't forget to give this video a like down below. It really helps out our channel. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos coming out. Okay, first up, Nancy Pelosi says she doesn't want to have to sweep up the dumplings of this elephant after the election. As you can see here, House Speaker and leader of the Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, appeared to compare the actions of the Trump administration to elephant dung at the conclusion of a discussion that largely focused on the ongoing negotiations for the new stimulus package. That's right, elephant dung. Nancy Pelosi says, quote, because we want to have an agreement, we can come to the negotiation. And we can do it now, but what's the difference of a few days? Except we can have it before the election, which we want it as soon as possible. And I certainly want it because I don't want to have to be sweeping up after this dumpings of this elephant as we go into a new presidency in a few short months. Now, Nancy Pelosi's comment, it's unclear if she is talking about President Trump or the Trump administration or the Republicans in general, but my, what a quote coming from Nancy Pelosi. Remember how I've told you in the past that politicians can literally change their mind 180 degrees within 24 hours, and it happens all the time? It's interesting now that we've gone from the White House pushing for the second stimulus package before the election, literally with everything they could, everything in the kitchen sink, they're throwing at it to get the second stimulus package done before the election because they think it'll help out President Donald Trump. Well, now, literally within the last 48 hours, we've now gone from that to see now Nancy Pelosi pushing to get the stimulus package done before the election. Now, there's multiple reasons on why Nancy Pelosi could be doing this. We might never know the actual reason. Is she doing it just for show? To show that she's doing this? Is she doing this so she could be reelected? Remember, she's up for reelection on November 3rd, along with Mitch McConnell. I will be covering both of their reelections, how they're doing, and whether the Senate or the House of Representatives is going to be Democratic or Republican, along with the presidency on November 3rd. So make sure you tune into the channel on November 3rd because I will be covering whether Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell and the president are all going to be reelected. So, is Nancy Pelosi doing this just to get reelected? Is she doing this to help out her Democratic friends so that they can be reelected, so they can say, hey, we tried our best to get a stimulus package done? Or is she actually trying to get it done before the election? Because after the election, all bets are off. President Trump might be not reelected, then not want to pass stimulus, or he could be reelected and not want to pass stimulus, or he could be reelected and want to pass stimulus, but she might not be the Speaker of the House anymore. The Democrats could lose their majority, or she could not be reelected at all, and we could have a brand new Speaker of the House or a new Senate Majority Leader. So when election day comes, everything just kind of goes crazy because there's literally 100 different scenarios of what could happen. Nancy Pelosi could be gone. She could be there but not be the leader. Mitch McConnell. I mean, there's just so many things that could happen. That's why we'll be covering it on election day because who knows what could happen at this point. So her best bet, if she actually wants to pass stimulus, which she says she does, I mean, she's been negotiating on this for months. So you would think she'd want this to just come to a closure, at least for now, get some stimulus passed now, and then they can work on more stimulus after the election. So she can just finish this chapter off of the stimulus and then pass it, get it out. Maybe the money goes out right after the election or right before the election, and then they can work on getting more as this pandemic continues. Nancy Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin had another talk yesterday and plan to talk again today over the final details of the stimulus package negotiation. Her top aide said that the Speaker and Secretary Mnuchin spoke at 3 p.m. yesterday for approximately 53 minutes. In this call, they continued to narrow their differences. The Speaker has tasked committee chairs to reconcile differences with the Republicans over the last few key areas. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell from the Republicans is also set to have a vote on a skinny bill, a skinny stimulus package from the Republicans in the Senate. And we now know the details of what is actually in that bill. They're supposed to vote on this either today or tomorrow. We have conflicting reports, and knowing Mitch McConnell, it could be either day. The main key points of this bill is liability protections for businesses and hospitals and schools, a second round of paycheck protection program with reforms to require new applications to show you must have a revenue loss. Early indicators say your business must be down by at least 25% and maintain loan documents consistent with IRS requirements. The unemployment extension in this bill will be $300 per week in extra unemployment benefits to those who qualified under the CARES Act, and this will go to December 27th. It also extends the authorization for railroad unemployment benefits to December 27th also. Also, in this bill, the provisions would forgive the $10 billion Treasury loan to the United States Postal Service authorized in the CARES Act and would basically just make it forgivable, which they wouldn't have to pay it back, which is also the same thing of the Paycheck Protection Program that went to small businesses. Now, it's unlikely to get support from the Democrats, which they do need support from the Democrats, barring some weird change of events for the Democrats because they have their own large stimulus package that they're trying to pass also. And this small, skinny stimulus package doesn't have a lot of things because it's literally 1/3 or 1/4 of the price of the larger stimulus package. So obviously, there's only 1/3 or 1/4 as many things in there. I do think it would be a good idea to pass skinny bills where they can pass this one, get things out of the way, pass another one, get things out of the way, pass another one, get things out of the way if they don't come to an agreement on the large stimulus package. But the problem is the Democrats have been against these smaller bills. If we had passed a bunch of smaller bills already, we probably have already have gotten stimulus checks, unemployment, and all these different things that could have passed instead of like lumping, 147 things into this large stimulus package and making it basically an all or nothing agreement. But at this point, the all or nothing agreement is our best chance to get all this done. And the larger package does have everything we need in there except for multiple stimulus checks, but it does have stimulus checks. It has money for small businesses. It has unemployment money. It has money for mortgage and rental assistance, money for schools. I mean, everything in the kitchen sink is in there. So that is better than skinny bills, passing them one by one. But don't be surprised if we don't get an agreement on the big stimulus package, if we don't see those smaller skinny bills passed in the future. Also, the U.S. Presidential Debate Commission has approved a rule now, which is brand new, to mute the mics of the person not speaking during the next presidential debate, which will be on Thursday. As you can see here, the Commission on the Presidential Debates has adopted new rules muting the microphones of President Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden to give them 2 minutes of uninterrupted time at the beginning of each debate segment. So basically, if one person tries to interrupt the other during their 2 minutes of speaking, their mic won't be on. And don't be surprised if there's actually mic issues going on when you have to mute your mic, unmute your mic multiple times. Don't be surprised if there's some mishaps there that possibly someone is supposed to have their mic on and they don't, or they're supposed to have their mic muted and they don't. It could create a dare I say, wardrobe malfunction in a way of the microphones because that'll be a lot of switching on and off mics. And just knowing how a YouTube channel goes, don't be surprised if they mess something up there. Now, after their 2 minutes of speaking each, then both of their mics will be on where they could basically debate and basically knock out, brawl each other like they did last time. My wife and I will be covering the presidential debate highlights immediately after on Thursday night, probably about an hour or so after the debate ends. And it'll definitely be an interesting one. I'll be able to bring you guys all the highlights and some interesting commentary from my wife and I. So make sure to tune in Thursday night or even Friday morning if you missed the debates and you don't want to watch the whole thing or just get the highlights. Also, President Donald Trump says that he will take a virus test before the next debate with Joe Biden. Now, they were supposed to test on the day of the debates last time, but in President Donald Trump's second debate, where they debated on their own during their own town halls, he was asked the question if he took a virus test that day, and he said he didn't remember if he took a test the day of the debate, and they were supposed to be on the honor system. So now we'll see if they actually take tests the day of this debate going forward. And if it's publicized, or if they do it behind closed doors, or if they say they took a test but nobody really knows. What a just an entire nightmare this whole thing is. Also, I plan to have another What's in the Box contest. Let me know your thoughts if you think it should be a more general item like the baseball that was here. Now, of course, it was signed by Nolan Ryan, but I didn't make you guess that it was signed by Nolan Ryan specifically because that would just be way too hard. Although there may have been some people that actually did that. I know there was for sure people that guessed an autographed baseball. I'd have to go search back through the comments to see if somebody said Nolan Ryan in specific. But would you like a more general item like that? Or would you like a more specific item that might be a little bit harder to guess, but it could have less people that guess it? So you'd have a higher chance of winning if you did guess it. And then I could pick a more interesting item. Although this was a pretty interesting item. I mean, a Nolan Ryan signed baseball. I mean, how much better can you get than that? Although I may just have a very specific item that could be even cooler than that. I do have some pretty cool items laying laying around here, as you may have noticed in the background. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on new videos. I have videos typically coming out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the bell icon if you want to be notified when we actually go live. You can click on this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9-to-5 income by selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.